Hey everyone, Richard Robbins here. I want to talk a little bit about the future of real estate and how I believe it's going to impact you. Now, before I get into that, listen to some of these stats. According to NAR, 33% of real estate agents will leave the industry in a year or less, and 87% will leave the industry in 5 years or less. Now think about that. We're in an industry you can make 6- and 7-figure incomes, right? Where you're your own boss. And we got 33% will leave within a year and 87% will leave within 5 years. You got to ask yourself the question, why is that? Well, the reason is I call it the lead battle. See, the challenge with most agents is, they don't know how to show a property. That's not the problem. They know how to show a property. They can take people out. They get a listing, probably get a listing sold. That's not the big issue. They know how to do an open house. That's not the issue. What is the issue? They don't have enough leads. I call it the lead battle. Now, let me talk about one big example so you can see this clearly. So if you look at a company called Zillow. Now Zillow is very large in the US. It's now in Canada as well. Zillow is generating over $1 billion in revenue per year. They've only been around, I'm going to say 13 years, maybe right around 13 years. Now, the $1 billion in revenue they're generating, who's giving them that money, generally speaking? Real estate agents and brokers. Okay? So the real estate industry is giving Zillow over $1 billion a year. Why would they be giving Zillow over $1 billion a year? Because Zillow is really good at something, generating leads. And then what they do is basically they're selling the leads back to the agents, right? Brilliant model, by the way, because they've taken what is most difficult for real estate agents and said, why don't we figure out how to do it really well, and then we'll sell the leads back to the agents. And we'll make a whole bunch of money from agents because most of them don't have enough leads or want more leads, right? That's what is going on. So here's what Zillow did, which is brilliant. Zillow creates the most unbelievable real estate website. I mean, it's got all of the information. Okay, mapping capabilities, right? You can find out what's for sale, what's sold. Like it's just a wealth of information on their site. So much so that I have a second home down in Florida that what I do is I'm always on there seeing what's going on in that area, right? Because it's such a wealth of information. Now, when you look at a listing, what ends up happening is, of course, the listing agent comes up and then a couple more agents come up as well. Now, the other agents that come up, the preferred agents or whatever they call them, they're the ones that are paying to be there. And they're hoping that when somebody looks at that listing, they will call one of those agents, right? So the agent pays for that. So again, Zillow is a lead generation site. Okay? Think about iBuyers, which is becoming very big. I was down in Phoenix recently, and there's a company that's fairly large in Phoenix called Opendoor. Now, Opendoor is a company that you can send all the information of your house into them. They will make you an offer on your house, and you can pick your closing date. You can close within a couple weeks, right, if you accept the offer. Now, we could argue, is the offer market value or not? That doesn't matter right now. What matters is, when you now go to one of their listings, they buy your house, they might put some money into it, put it back in the market. If they put it back in the market, they got a sign in the front lawn, and you literally can go up and you can download the app right there, put in all your information and create an account, and they will send you the code to go in and look at the house because nobody's in it, it's empty. Now, the minute you download the app and you put all your information in, what do they now have the ability to do? Send you information. Lead generation. Do you get it? Okay, what about this? What about agents that put a sign topper on their sign? And what it says, if I don't sell your house, I will buy it. Do agents really want to buy the house? No. Why do they do that? Lead generation. Do you see where I'm going with this? See, what we have to realize is what separates the good from the great is the ability to generate leads. Now, when people get into real estate, what do they think? Oh, I got to be really good at relationships. And yes, you do. I got to be good at showing property. I got to start doing some open houses, all this other stuff. But what they don't realize is that the biggest weakness in our industry for most agents is the inability to generate enough leads. And I will say to you that the number one reason that agents fail or do not succeed at the level desired is their inability to generate leads. So much so that there's all these companies out there now, obviously Zillow being one, HomeLight is another, and we can go on and on about all these companies, that what they've done is they figured out how to generate leads and then they sell them back to real estate agents because generally real estate agents are not good at generating leads. This all making sense to you right now? So, the future of real estate. The future of real estate to me is what we have to do as agents is we got to become really good marketers and become good at generating leads, or we're going to have to be willing to pay for them, right? And if you pay for them, it's really going to cut into your bottom line, obviously. Now, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't pay for them. I think some business models you should. If you have a large team, you're probably going to need to do that so you can bring in enough leads. But I think the big thing is you have to figure out how to generate leads. Now, here's what's interesting. If you look at the real estate industry, there's something called sales and there's something called marketing. Now, a lot of people might be decent at sales, but what is sales? Sales is where you're sitting in front of somebody, you're doing a listing presentation, you're doing a buyer's needs analysis. That would be more sales, wouldn't it? You know, somebody calls in, you know, they want information on a house, you probably want to meet them at the property. That is sales, okay? So sales is where you're having a conversation with a prospect, you know, you're sitting face to face with a prospect. That's more sales. But the biggest weakness in our industry, I don't think is necessarily the sales side. Now that always needs to be improved, and there's some people that are better than others at sales, there's no question. But the big weakness when it comes to lead generation is not sales, it's marketing. See, if you don't have enough leads, you don't have a lead problem, you have a marketing problem. See, Zillow is good at marketing. HomeLight is good at marketing. Open Door is good at marketing. Agents that have big teams that have sign toppers that say, if I don't sell your house, I'll buy yours. They are good at what? They're good at marketing. So in 2020 and moving forward, what I'm going to suggest, where you maybe need to spend more of your time, is in the marketing arena. Okay? It's no different when you do an open house, you're marketing, aren't you? Like, how do you get more people into the open house? It's marketing. You know, how do you make the open house unbelievable when people come? It's marketing. What about all your past clients? How do you turn all of your past clients and everybody you know into advocates? Not just satisfied with your service, not just loyal, but I mean true advocates where they want to help you build your business and send you business. See, that's marketing. See, if you're not doing enough business, if you don't have enough leads, you actually have a marketing problem. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be improving your sales skills. But I think what you want to start to work on is becoming a better marketer, because every single company that is out there generating leads, they're brilliant what? They're not brilliant salespeople, they're brilliant marketers. And I think sometimes what happens in our industry is we get sort of caught up in the sales side of things. We get caught up in, you know, showing property. We get caught up in all of the busyness of our industry, and we forget that our number one responsibility is to be a great marketer. Because if you're not a great marketer, nobody knows about you. And if nobody knows about you, you're probably not doing a lot of business. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. But what I see in the industry today is there's all of these third parties coming in the industry that are brilliant marketers that are generating leads, and then they're taking those leads and they're selling them back to real estate agents and brokers that maybe aren't as good at generating leads as they could be. And it's not a sales issue. I think it's more of a marketing issue. And at the end of the day, everybody, remember, it's a beautiful life. Make it count.